We all know the situation with Little Durk and his crew, the OTF boys out of Chicago. We all saw what just happened to him. We all saw it coming. We knew that a RICO and the indictment was coming down. There was too many bodies dropping. There's been a lot of snitching behind the scenes. You know, like I said, he had cousins that done died, a brother that done died, a father's been incarcerated for like 25 years. Man, you know, his rapper signed to his label was unalived. You know, it's just a whole bunch of stuff that's been going on. But he has people that's been either supportive of him or not supportive of him. And one of these people that's been supportive of him has been Brandon Johnson. Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, he's spoken very highly of Little Durk and was also helping him be the catalyst for change for the city of Chicago. He was trying to help him. And, you know, but by that time it was too late. But the mayor of Chicago is now being he's being pressed by the Chicago press for taking $150,000 from Little Durk for a charity. Check this out.
Ravi, Little Durk, whose real name is Durk Banks, made a $150,000 campaign donation to Mayor Brandon Johnson shortly after Johnson took office last year. What Johnson plans to do with the money, though, remains unclear. Mayor Brandon Johnson facing scrutiny today about his connection to well-known Chicago rapper Lil Durk. The mayor saying he knows few details about the murder-for-hire charges Lil Durk is now facing, but noted the rapper's philanthropic work in the city.
Lil Durk's mission to build financial literacy for children across the city and making other critical investments for the children of the city is where his heart, you know, has been.
The rapper, whose real name is Durk Banks, runs a Chicago-based charity called Neighborhood Heroes, but he also operates a music company. According to state records, in June of 2023, The Voice Touring LLC, which lists Banks as the manager, donated $150,000 to Mayor Brandon Johnson's campaign.
Do you feel like you should donate that to charity or do something with that money? Is it tainted?
Well, I mean, you know, look, you know, I don't operate in feelings. You know, I operate in truth and justice. And again, I don't know all the circumstances around these accusations.
When pressed about Banks' donation, the mayor deferred once again.
If you're asking me if I should make a judgment on a black man before a full trial has actually come to fruition, I hope you do understand why it is not my position to determine the outcome of someone's life.
Banks, through his charity work, has been connected to many well-known people in Chicago and elsewhere. ABC7 legal analyst Gil Sofer says no one should jump to any conclusions.
We're a long way from being able to judge whether there's any exposure, criminal exposure to political officials. I mean, odds are that this case is focusing on this violent crime that's been charged and that all the rest is noise.
So this is the flip side of the game. And this is the part where it gets sad, because now we're dealing with one of his children, Jayden Banks, who's speaking on behalf of his daddy. Now, this is the part where I tell you guys, you want to be a real N-word, bang, bang, anywhere, you know what? This is the flip side of the game, right? So now you have a father who chose the streets over his children. So now he's away from his children. The children has never lived a life where they didn't have their father available, and now they're having to deal with a life without their father, right? The same way Little Durk had to deal, it's just an ongoing cycle. Well, Jayden Banks said, I want to take a moment, I want to take a moment to stand up for my dad, Durk Banks. He has always dedicated his life to uplifting others and giving back to our community through his nonprofit organization, Neighborhood Heroes. Beyond that, he is a great father who has always supported and loved our family unconditionally. Right now, he is facing challenges, but I want to affirm that he has not been convicted of any charges and remains innocent until proven otherwise. During this difficult time, I ask for your support for him and all the good he continues to do. I would also like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the mayor for standing with my dad. His speech was well said and truly reflects the community's support for those who strive to make a positive impact. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this to a lot of you young men out there that's still on the street, that still have your freedom, that you don't have charges pending over your head. What can you learn from this situation? In our communities, we have a lot of generational curses passed down. A lot of y'all grew up without your father. A lot of you grew up, maybe your mom was a 80s streetwalker. She was addicted to that. She had a substance abuse problem. Maybe your father had a substance abuse problem. And you was raised by your grandparents. When you got a certain age, they was too old to control you. And you became part of the streets. You became part of the gang culture, right? There's a flip side to this game. For a long time, I ran the streets, and I never knew that I had a choice until I was in the prison. I never knew I had a choice. One day I was in prison, and a man named Zachary Ricketts from the Nation of Islam said, "Young man, you know you have a choice." And I looked at him like he had 17 heads. I thought that my choices and my decisions was made based off of my environment. I thought the life I was living, that was just the life that black people lived. That was the norm. That's what I thought. Despite having a loving grandma and a father and all those things, my mind was so mentally warped, I thought that street life was the life for me until I found out that it wasn't. But sometimes, a lot of us as black men, as young black boys growing into men, when we finally wake up and that light bulb come on, it's too late. We already doing 30 to 60, doing a life sentence. It's too late. It's too late. So I'm telling you, young brothers out there, you do have a choice. Don't ever let nobody tell you that you don't have a choice, because you do. You don't have to. I did a video when I first came to YouTube saying it's time to tell the youth the truth, right? And we gotta tell them, like, listen, we wasn't perfect. There's a reason why I wasn't in your life, son. I chose the streets over you. When you was born, I wasn't ready to be a father. I was never taught how to be a father. I didn't know the first clue of what it was to be a father. So when you was born, I was running the streets trying to get mine. Doing all kinds of things that put me away for a long time, that took me away from you. You gotta tell this to your son or your daughter. You moms, you gotta say that. Listen, when I was young, I was a hoe. It's a reason why your daddy wasn't sure if you was his or not, and he barely came to see you, because I was running wild. So what happens is we watch Durk at a young man as a rapper grow up in front of us, and we watch him go through all his trials and tribulations on camera, making songs like "You Should Have Ducked" when FBG Duck was unalive. Making all kinds of songs dissing the unalive people, right? But remember, he was a young man. So a lot of you guys out there, the cameras wasn't on you. We didn't get to see your progression to adulthood from a teenager. So we didn't get to see all the things you did wrong, the things you did right. It didn't play out in front of our faces. But when it came to Durk, because he was a rapper and he was part of that drill scene, everything that he was doing, a lot of things that he was doing, we saw it play out. So we saw him from like a 17, 18-year-old boy growing into a 32-year-old man. So we saw all his progressions. But you out there with judgment, we didn't see y'all. We didn't see y'all. Now, he hasn't been convicted of anything, but we know, those of us that come from the streets, we know how this thing go. Man, he's in there because of his choices. Because of his choices. And I'm telling you, young guys out there, you have a choice. You don't have to be a real N-word. You don't have to be a gangbanger. There's life on the other side of the streets. It's okay to be normal. It's okay to be a working man. It's okay to be a father to your children. It's okay to listen to your parents. It's okay to do all these things, man. Because I'm going to tell you, those of y'all that saw that Young Thug trial, you see how he was saying yes, no, and excuse me to that judge, begging to come home, begging to get out. It's like you guys can't wait to go to prison, but when you get there, man, you can't wait to get out. So why even go in the first place? Now he has a son. Now he has a son where we know that the son didn't write that, but he has a son speaking on behalf of him when he should have been working on behalf of his children by not keeping the generational curse going. He has a dead brother, a father that been in jail for 26 years. His cousin was murdered, right? His Little Durk, I mean not Little Durk, the other rapper in Atlanta that was unalive, right? It's just a whole thing. It's just a whole system of unalivings, right? And how many other people in Chicago connected to FBG Duck and all those other things? How many other people was unalived on both sides? So he has people snitching on him because I'm telling you guys, please, King Vaughn, that's his name, do not choose the streets over your children and your family. You do have a choice, young man. You have a choice. Please make the right choice. Don't be like me and other people that made a lot of bad choices. And this is why I try my best to be the greatest father that I can be. The same father that I actually had to my youngest son that you guys always see. Because of my other children, I wasn't the best father because I wasn't on the streets. Because I chose the streets over my children until I found out in prison that I actually had a choice. So I'm going to cut this video short here. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button. Subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. And remember, I love y'all till the next time. Peace.